Islam is the way, the truth, and the life, and the life. Whosoever practices it shall never fail. Islam is the way, the truth, and the life, and the life. Whosoever practices it shall never fail. Islam is the way, the truth, and the life, and the life. Whosoever practices it shall never fail. Islam is the way, the truth, and the life, and the life. Whosoever practices it shall never fail. For God so loved the world that he gave his only religion, Islam, that whosoever practices it shall not perish, but has everlasting life. For God so loved the world that he gave his only Islam as a religion, that whosoever practices it shall not perish, but has everlasting life. For God so loved the world that he gave his only Islam, that whosoever practices it as a religion shall never perish, but has everlasting life. Islam is the way, the truth, and the life, and the life. Whosoever practices it shall never fail. I have decided to be a Muslim. I am happy. I am a Muslim. No circumstance, inshallah, inshallah, no circumstance, inshallah, inshallah. No circumstances can change my opinion. I decided to be a Muslim. I am happy. I am a Muslim. No circumstance, inshallah, inshallah, no circumstance, inshallah, inshallah, no circumstances can change my opinion. Islam is the way, the truth, and the life, and the life. Whosoever practices it shall never fail. Islam is the way, the truth, and the life, and the life. Whosoever practices it shall never fail. Islam is the way, the truth, and the life, and the life. Whosoever practices it shall never fail. Islam is the way, the truth, and the life, and the life. Whosoever practices it shall never fail. For God so loved the world that he gave his only religion, Islam, that whosoever practices it shall not perish, but has everlasting life. For God so loved the world that he gave his only Islam as a religion, that whosoever practices it shall not perish, but has everlasting life. For God so loved the world that he gave his only Islam, that whosoever practices it as a religion shall never perish, but has everlasting life. Islam is the way, the truth, and the life, and the life. Whosoever practices it shall never fail. I have decided. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. I welcome you all to this program as usual. Today, as usual, Wednesday, for our normal English program. I say unto the viewers that are Christians, the idol worshippers, or the atheists, likewise the free thinkers, that may the peace of the Lord be upon you all. Likewise unto the Muslims all over the world that are here right now, and those that will be joining us as the program progresses, and those that are not opportune to join us live, I say unto you, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Now, tonight, as we've seen it on our screen, this is the second part of this topic, relationship between Muslim and Christian. I've discussed a lot about how there are some things that relate to one another. But for tonight, we are going to be looking at, because the relationship has limits, we are looking at limitation of the relationship. In the first part, I talked about a Muslim should relate with anybody as a human being. We should help one another. We should come to one another's rescue. We should be able to accommodate one another. There was a story when Prophet Muhammad was alive, when they were able to gain victory over the people of Mecca. When Prophet was coming in, back then, he came in with 10,000 followers from Medina and with some parts in the Arab world. Then, when he got to the entrance of Mecca, he made one announcement, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, whoever runs to Kaaba, as in the area where Kaaba is located, will not have any problem with him. He now talked about the leader of the pagan then in Mecca. He said, whoever enter Abu Sufyan's house will not have anything to do with him, no fight. Look at how generous our prophet is. Meanwhile, what Prophet was trying to do in that hadith was that to know who are the Muslims and who are the pagan. So that by the time he comes in, he will know where to head to. So he knew that not everybody will embrace him. Engineer, check the audio. Maybe you should lower the audio a little. Okay. Now, I said the Prophet wanted to point out one thing there. And the thing is, he wanted to be sure of the Muslims and the pagan in Mecca. That was the reason why he has made such announcements. To do that you will meet in Kaaba, those are the Muslims. And do that you will meet in the house of Abu Sufyan, those are the pagan. And there was a treaty being signed, peaceful treaty, on that very day. So know how generous Prophet Muhammad was when he was alive. And those are the teachings we need to imbibe into our daily lives
as a Muslim. We must not put anybody's hatred in our mind because he's not a Muslim. No. We must be able to relate with everybody on an humanitarian ground. But I'm still coming to the limitation. Now, the treaty now reads, Muhammad will not fight anybody if he decided to be a pagan. You know, they were all Muslims now. The Muslims are there because pagans are there. That Muhammad will not fight anybody that leaves Islam back to paganism. But if anybody moves from paganism to Islam, should be sent back to paganism. But if he leaves Islam and comes back to them, no qualms. Muhammad agreed because he wanted peace. He wanted peace to reign. He knew quite all right that nobody can force anybody. If you say you are not a Muslim, you can go. We will not ask of you. So if Muhammad can be able to dance to that tune of agreement, who are we to put an hatred in our mind against Christian or idol worshippers? We don't have to hate anybody because this religion is for Allah, it's for God. It's not for my father, nor my mother, nor my family. This is not a family religion. Engineer, please check this audio. Huh? The audio is cracking. Just work on the audio. People are complaining. And I can even listen to it here. I don't know how can. Well, now, I said the religion of Islam is for Allah. And we need to take it as the Quran has instructed us. We must not be a fanatics. A Muslim can never be a fanatics unless he didn't know what is called Islam. Ibrahim can go to that length, of signing such treaty with the pagan. Look at Mecca today. 100% are Muslims. No more paganism in Mecca. I didn't mean Muhammad that said that day that no, the war will still continue among them. But when they agreed, because he knew quite all right that it's not for them to determine for anybody's faith. Look at the agreement. If anybody comes in, just send him back. If any one of you reverse back to us, we reverse to us, we'll take him back. And they agreed. Look at the agreement of that day. To whose favor now? To Muhammad's favor, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the Muslims should take it easy with anybody based on religion. We should take it easy and be able to accommodate everybody. For example, some Muslims today go to the extent that if a Christian is having a naming ceremony, it will be so difficult for them to attend. They will be telling you, it's a Christian, why must you go there? If a Christian is having a marriage, he wants to tell me, don't go there. I'm still going back to the limitation. But before limitation, we have free will to relate with them But the issue now is, you know, the hypocritic aspect of it is that in politics, no religion. In politics, no religion. They do not have any religion. They will not tell you our chairman is a Christian, so he should not be appointed. A Muslim support a chairman, but comes to humanitarian issue, the segregation will not be there. Why should that be? Why? We must live with everybody in peace and in harmony. We have no enemy whatsoever. That's why I love one slang by the Ahmadiyya Muslims. He said, love for all, hatred for none. That's a very good slang. Love for all, hatred for none. You must love everybody. That is what Quran preaches. Love. We must love everybody, either Muslim, Christian, pagan, anybody. So far it's a human being, we must love him. We must help him. If he needs our assistance, we must assist him. I said this one the last time, that is, assuming I'm going to mosque to worship Allah. Engineer, please work on this audio. Now, I don't say, I think we are going to the mosque to worship Allah. Now, an accident now occurred. A car now hit a man. Maybe it's a pastor. He will put in on white garments. Either Cherubim or Seraphim or Celestial. At least you will know that this is a Christian. Islam tells us to assist, to save his soul, to save his life. You must stop that mosque and take that victim to hospital. The audio is not good. So we must save his life before going to the mosque. Look at how good Islam is. Look at how good Islam is. But today, reverse is the case. You must stop that mosque and take that victim to hospital. Please work on this audio, it's not good. Now, I said, those are the things. We need to live a normal life with every human being. We must believe every human being to be human being. God has created everybody. Look at what happened when a Jew died in Medina. For you to know how good Islam is, a Jew in Medina, they are not Muslim then. They are not Muslim. They are even other worshippers. Then, and the hatred they had for Muhammad is a grievous one. They hated him like anything. But upon that, when one of them died, Muhammad and his disciples were sitting, and they took his corpse for burial. They now passed through where Muhammad was sitting. As they were coming, as Muhammad saw them, he now stood up. Normally, disciples must join. They joined him and stood up. When they took him away, they now seated. One of the Sahaba now asked Muhammad, don't you know that this guy is a pagan? Man said, yes, I know. I know he's a pagan. But I respected the soul that departed from him, not himself. Because Allah owns his soul and it must be respected. If Muhammad can do such, who are you? And in Quran chapter 33, verse 21, Allah said to Muhammad,
لقد كان لكم في رسول الله أسوة حسنة.
لقد كان لكم في رسول الله أسوة حسنة. That the best example.
في رسول الله أسوة حسنة.
The best example that one can imbibe is in Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Where are the Muslims today? Where are we? Can we be emulated by others? Engineer, maybe I should change this audio. This one is not good at all. Let me have that one. A minute, please.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب ولم يجعل له عوجا.
We've been on it. We've changed all the mic, changed everything. Yeah? Is it not better off? Let's try this one. But what is the solution now? I don't know. Because the audio is too bad. You cannot just continue this way. You cannot continue at all. No, this one is okay. Change all the mic, change everything. This one is a little bit echoey. Yeah. This one is manageable now. Just work on it a little. I think this one is better. This one is better. Let's manage this one. It's better than that one. It's better than that one. It's better. Let's manage this one. Oh, this one is okay. And let's continue. I now said, when he now said, I know there's a pagan, but I have to respect the soul that departed him. Look at the whole wide world today. That's why I kept on saying, all the terrorism acts in the world are not covered by the Muslims, because our constitutional book is the Quran. So whosoever that do what is not air is not a Muslim. They are not Muslims. The ISIS, the Boko Harams, the Al-Shabaabs, all the terrorist group in the whole wide world, they are not Muslims. because Islam has not taught us such acts. We must respect every soul. Look at Quran chapter 5 verse 32. Every soul must be respected. We are not creator, and we cannot create. Look at what Allah said to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Quran chapter 5 verse 32. Allah said, on that account, we ordain for the children of Israel that if anyone slew a person, unless it be a murderer or spreading mischief in the land, it will be as if you have enslaved the whole wide world. Killing is forbidden, except those who killed others and spread mischiefs on the land. Those are the two that can be killed. Any other people cannot be killed. If you are not a Muslim, I cannot kill you. Unlike one fabricated hadith that people go about today, that if anybody leaves Islam should be killed. No! It's a fabricated hadith. Fabricated hadith. Because in Quran chapter 4, if anybody leaves Islam, he should not be killed. Verse 137 or so. Surah to Nisa. I'm still coming back to the limitation. For you to know, look at what Allah said. Allah said those, Allah said those who believe and reject faith and became pagan and become Muslim again and go back to paganism, and the paganism now kept increasing in him. Allah said he will never be rightly guided and will not be forgiven. No part of the Quran has ever said if anybody leaves Islam should be killed. Nowhere in the Quran, nowhere. It's not the Quranic injunction. If anybody leaves Islam, if your own soul, that's a problem. You should not be killed. You should not be killed. It's not part of Islam. That hadith that says if anybody leaves, they should be killed. It's a fabricated hadith. It's never from Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because Muhammad can never say what negated the Quran. The Quran has said it all. So why should one hadith supersede this ayah of the Quran? So anybody that leaves Islam is for his own soul. You are free to go and you are free to come. You are free to go. That you see, normally there's no politics in Islam, but there's one slang in politics. There's no permanent enemy in politics. For example, you can be a PDP today and come to APC tomorrow. Can be APC today, come to APC. They welcome you. They welcome you. Look at what happened to Fanika now. Adding member in PDP. He's now in APC. He was warmly welcomed by even the president. That's politics. And that's what Islam teaches. No permanent enemy for the Muslims. You can come to Islam tomorrow as a Christian. You have no problem. You can even go out back to Christianity. No problem. You are not being forced to be here. So you cannot be forced to be out. So why should you be killed? I remember one testimony this guy gave Ayuba. Ayuba back then in the city of David. About 7 or 8 years ago now. He said he should have denounced Islam for a very long time. But he was afraid of being killed. It's not part of Islam to kill whoever leaves Islam. It's not part of Islam to kill whoever leaves the religion. It's not part of it. So why are we not being deceived by anybody? Why deception? Those are relationships between Muslim and Christian and anybody. Let's now go to limitation. There's a limitation on ground. And this limitation has been there from the onset between the Israelites who were given the comprehensive law through Moses. I've been saying it on this program. All the laws being used by Islam, by the Muslims, by the Jews, were formulated from God and to Moses. All the don'ts, the do's and the don'ts are from Moses. Because before those laws, people can do and undo. For example, look at what happened to Abraham. Abraham married his blood sister. But when law comes, you can never do that. Look at Jacob. Jacob married two sisters, Leah and Rachel. He married, they are two blood sisters, senior and the younger one. He married the two before the law of Moses. But when the law came, it regulates everything. It made us to understand some things that are not good, that God forbids. You can imagine. Now, the regulation now still exists. The regulation still exists. Let's just, because I said limitation now. Limitation now. Let's check Quran chapter 3 verse 100. Quran 3 verse 100. Quran chapter 3 verse 100. Quran 3 100. Allah said, "Oh, you believe, if you listen to a faction among the people of the book, they will indeed render you apostates after you have believed." If you listen to much advice from the non-Muslims that they are your bosom friend, you must not, I'm still even going to that. Most advices from non-Muslims, if they give you 100 advice, take just 35 or 30 and take the rest from the Muslims. Because you must not take either Christian or pagan, or idol worshippers as your bosom friend. Quran 5 verse 51. Surah to Maida verse 51. Allah said, "Oh, you believe, take not the Jews, not the Nazarene, as your bosom friend and protector. They are but friends and protector to each other. And he amongst you that turns to them, in friendship." Those are limitations. We must not, because most of us today, most of the Muslims today, our close pal, our bosom friend, our secret friends are the non-Muslims. We should not be. There's no way they can love you more than your fellow Muslims. No way. Look at what Allah said in Quran. Allah said in Quran chapter 2 verse 120. Quran chapter 2 verse 120. Quran 2, verse 120. Look at Allah's instruction. Allah said, never will the Jew nor the Nazarene be satisfied with you until you follow their religion. No Christian will ever be at peace with you until you follow their religion. Look at what happened to that Muslim guy with that guy that died on that 21-story building. Sikiru Adebowale and Femi Oshibono. Sikiru went there for just his profession, to be part of the workers in that very building. Oshibono was asking him that which church do you attend? Which church do you attend? He loved his proposal. He knew his worth. But the problem is, are you a Christian? Look at what Allah said. They will never be satisfied with you, the non-Muslims, until you follow their religion. But the Muslims today, we didn't listen to Allah. We don't even understand the Quran as an instruction from God. And we kept on falling into error day in, day out. We kept on falling into error day in, day out. There are limitations to our friendship according to the Quran. There must be a limitation to our friendship according to what? According to Quran. Now, look at Quran chapter 2, the same Quran chapter 2, verse 105. Quran chapter 105. Allah said, it is never the wishes of those without faith among people of the book that good things must come to you from your Lord. God said, those that are not Muslim don't wish you well. Look at what Oyedeko said in that popular video. He said, if anybody says, please help me in Jesus' name, he said, I will take him to my as my engineer. Can we have that video? As my man, as my people, I will nurture him and do that. But if he says in Allah's name, no way. That is the secret of the non-Muslims. Allah is showing us. That's their secret. That's the kind of love they have for us. That's why Allah said they can never be pleased with you until you follow their way, until you become Christian or idol worshippers. That's the secret. Allah is linking to the Muslims. But we have deaf ears. We have what? Deaf ears. We cannot listen to simple instruction from our Creator. And we fall into error every day. Fall into error day in, day out. For how long do we continue with this? For how long do we continue to deny the word of Allah? Now, you can see the limitations now. That don't be at peace. Don't be rest assured that you have a protector among the non-Muslims. You're wasting your time. It is better. That's why I kept on warning those that are discriminating among the Muslims. They are the Sunnah were idiots. They are the Sunnah were idiots. So they cannot be at peace with Sufi, with Shia, with Ahmadiyya. But they can be at par with the Christian and the pagan. What kind of religion is this? What kind of sect is this? What's their mission? Are these all Muslims? Look at the Quran. clearly written. Well, I said it last week that what qualifies man to be a Muslim? One, to believe in Allah. You mean the Shia that you guys condemn, they don't believe in one God? The Ahmadists, don't they believe in one God? They don't call three God in one? The Sufis, they don't believe in God. There is one. Don't they believe in Salat? To pray, to worship Allah 5 times a day? All these other sects, Shia, Ahmadiyya, and the Sufis. Don't they believe in it? Don't they worship Allah 5 times a day? Of course they do. Don't they pay zakat? Of course they do. Don't they fast in front of Ramadan? Of course they do. Don't they go for it? Of course they do. So who are the Muslims? Those are the 5 pillars of Islam, as you all know. The Prophet said, "Bunyal Islam al-Khams." Islam was based on 5 pillars, and those are the 5 pillars. So what's our problem? Why can't we live as a Muslim among one another? Why segregation? Why differences? Beards. Is beards part of Islam? Is it in the Quran? Somebody said one day, one of their scholars, that if you should partake in zina, in fornication, it's better than for you to be shaving your beards every week. Can you imagine that? That's a fallacious statement. Rubbish. That engaging in zina once is better than shaving your beards weekly. That's craziness. Mere craziness. Now, I said between the Muslims, Christian, idol worshippers, there are some limitations. And that is one. We must not take any of these sects as a bosom friend. Quran has stated it. Another thing that we need to know, okay, look at what happened when Prophet Muhammad was trying to favor the Jews and Nazarene. Normally, when Muhammad came to Mecca, he was facing Jerusalem. He was facing Jerusalem. And suddenly, when Allah instructed him to face Kaaba, what happened? What was the consequence? The Jews rejected him. And they mounted pressure and more hatred on him. Why? Because he has left their own face out of worship. Where they face? Look at what happened. Quran chapter 2, verse 144. Allah said, "We see thee turning your face to the heaven. Now we shall turn your face to a Qibla that will please you. Turn your face in that direction of the sacred mosque." In okay. Whenever you are, turn your face in that direction. The people of the book, the Jews, and the Nazarene know well that that's the truth from your Lord. No, is it Allah unmindful of what you do? 145 now. Even if you were to bring to the people of the book all signs, they will not follow your Qibla. They will not follow your direction. No. Are you going to follow their own direction? If you, after the knowledge has reached you, follow their desire, then you are indeed in wrong, you are in error. Look at Allah's instruction. For you to know that if you don't follow their ways, they will not love you. They will not like you. it can be seen in their faces that I love this affair. Lies. They can never love you. The pagan, the Christian can never. That's God for you in Islam. So we have limitations. That's 1. 3. You see, Christmas is coming now. And January 1. There is one misconception or misunderstanding of one verse of the Quran. Just one verse of the Quran. Even among the Muslims, they don't understand. And the simple problem is, the reason behind it was that most of the Muslim scholars do not understand the difference between the Nazarene and the Christians. They don't understand the difference between Nasara and the Christians. They don't know. So they felt that the Christians are the Nazarene, the Nazarenes are the Christians, which is no. Which is capital no. Look at one verse of the Quran. A part of limitation. Quran 5 verse 5. Surah Al-Ma'idah. Quran 5 verse 5. Allah said, this day, all things that are good are made lawful unto you. All things that are good are made lawful unto the Muslims. You know, say the food of the people of the book is lawful unto you, and yours is lawful unto them. Now, let me analyze this very verse before I go further. This is the conception of most interpreters. Because when Christmas comes, we that understood the Quran will tell them Christmas food is illegal for every Muslim to eat. Likewise, January 1 is even illegal. Now, they will not challenge me that why should that be? God said people of the book can cook food for us to eat. See, the question is for you to know that this is festival food, not non-ordinary food. When Muhammad came from Mecca to Medina, in Medina, Jews and Nazarene lives in Medina, not Christian. Go and do your research over it. Those that live in Medina with Muhammad were not Christian. They were Jew and Nazarene. Waraka was never a Christian. He's a Jew or Nazarene. He's not a Christian. Waraka is not a Christian. Waraka is not a Christian. The uncle to Khadija is not a Christian. He's a Nazarene. He's a Nazarene. Likewise, the king of Ethiopia that died, that Muhammad have to pray for him in Medina when he heard about the news. That man is not a Christian, he's a Nazarene. He's a Nazarene, he's a Jew, and he's an Israelite that lives in Ethiopia. You know, before Jesus came, all the Israelites were scattered. They are not in one place. They are not in the Jew land. Some went to the east of the world. Some, because it was during Nebuchadnezzar war against the Israelites that scattered everybody all over the world. So Jews live all over the world, but they don't partake in their religion. They're so firmly on their own Judaism anywhere they are. Anywhere they were, they believe in Judaism. Even Nazarene comes in after Jesus. There's nothing called Nazarene before Jesus. No, nothing as Nazarene. Because there was a town called Nazareth. So the man that came from Nazareth is Jesus. That was what was called Nazarene. Go and check your Bible to Matthew chapter 2, verse 28. He was called Nazarene because he lived in the land of Nazareth. That's not the issue anyway for now. The issue now is, God said, I have made lawful unto you what is good. Quran 5 verse 5. And the food of the people of the book, the Jews and the Nazarene. I know said that very food is festival food. How? Before they came to Medina, the Jews and the Nazarene are the inhabitants of that place. They live there. That's their land. And they were the one that welcomed Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in their midst. Muhammad don't call with food with his disciples when he was coming from Mecca. Not drink. They accommodated them. They feed them. They give them shelter. They clothe them as well. They give them food. They have been eating one another food before this law comes in. God said, today, Aliyamu, today, which means it was a day to be celebrated for them. God said, you'll be able to eat their food. Which food? The festival food. Because they'll be eating one another's food before then. They have a good relationship, a good rapport among themselves. They have a good rapport. So why should the law now comes in? What they have been eating, which means the festival food is forbidden for both of them. If a man is celebrating Ileya or Eid Fitri, no Jew, no Nazarene will eat their food. They don't believe in it. Likewise, if they are celebrating their Passover, the Nazarene and the Jews will never take their food and eat, and all the Muslims. Law now, commandment now came from Allah that today it is law for you to eat one other's food when they are celebrating festival. Christmas is a festival, a pagan festival. I'm still coming back to that during the period, but not now. In December period, we are going to treat, because it's a yearly topic anyway. Christmas food is a yearly topic. A Muslim must not celebrate Christmas, because even they are the Christians. Most of them don't celebrate Christmas, but that's not the topic anyway. The verse now continues. I said, to this day, all good things are pure, are made lawful unto you. The food of people of the book, it is lawful unto you, and theirs, and your own lawful to them. He now said, now, in marriage now, lawful unto you in marriage, the chaste woman among the believers, and the chaste woman among the people of the book. Now, if you Islamic scholars said the food is for them, and the Nasarans are the Christians, my question is, according to this verse now, can a Muslim marry a Christian? If Nazarene unto you means what? Means Christian. Can a Muslim marry a Christian? That's just the question. I know you say no. I remember one scholar that came to Nigeria one time, and he was being questioned from Indian. That's Akinaik anyway. But I was there live. I was at the stadium live. The question was being posed onto him. Can a Muslim marry a Christian? his response was that, to me, we cannot marry a Christian, but Quran said we can marry them. Can you imagine that? Who is he to condemn what the Quran says? He said, to me, you cannot marry a Christian, but Quran said that. He didn't understand the verse. He didn't understand the verse. The Quran does not say we should marry a Christian. The Quran has never said that. It has never said that. Quran refers to the Nazarene, and this arrangement was made in Medina between the Muslims and the Jews and the Nazarene that lives in Medina. This very verse has nothing to do with the Muslims of the world today. It has nothing to do with us today at all. It's for the Jews, Nazarene that lives in Medina and the Muslims then. We cannot apply this to our social life. One, there's no Jew here. No Nazarene here. Those that lives in Israel can mingle. But those are even not the Jews. All those that live in Israel now, they are not Jews. They are fake. They are fake Jews. Unlike what happened to Renidis. Who was America? Was it not the Renidis? Were they now the control of that area now? The same thing applies to them. Because where Israel was today was being made by the American government in 1948. They reinstated them back there. And they were, and the owner of the land, the Palestine, has no free will on their own. Israel that came as a visitor, as a tenant to the land, was made to be independent, while the owner of the land was still under independence. You can imagine the hypocrisy act that was made by them onto the Palestinians, and the whole wide world kept silent on it. You can see the whole wide world kept silent, kept mute on it. Now, God now said, it is not for you to marry them and for them to marry you. Our scholars now twisted the Quran and said, we can marry from the Christians, but we cannot allow our own daughter to marry them. That's hypocrisy. God said they can marry you, you can also marry them. They can give their daughter to you for you in marriage. You can also give your own daughter for them in marriage. Let your daughter marry a Christian. You are done. You are done. This verse does not refer to Christians at all. It refers to the Jews and the Nazarene that lives in Medina. Period. That's another limitation. We cannot marry one another. We can't marry one another. Because Quran chapter 2 stated it clearly. Verse 221. Stated it clearly. Clearly written. Verse 221. For you to know that you are making a grievous mistakes by not understanding what the Quran says. Allah said, do not marry unbelieving women. If Allah said unbelieving, non-Muslims, Christians are not believers. I've been saying this on this program. They don't believe in God. How can somebody say, I'm a believer, and say Jesus is Lord? He's not a believer. How can somebody be a believer and believe that Jesus can save? That only Jesus can save, hallelujah. Only Jesus can save, hallelujah. That's a pagan statement. Jesus is not a savior. He cannot even save himself from calamity. Talk less of saving your life. Of saving your life. So if anybody believes that, he's not a believer. He's a pagan in the sight of Allah. So that's why God now said, do not, round to verse 221, do not marry unbelieving women until they believed. Until they are Muslims. So we are not entitled to marry a Christian, nor any other person than a Muslim. This is not a fanaticism. This is the limitation between the Muslim and other sects. We must not marry one another. Let the Christian marry the Christian. Muslim marry the Muslims. Any worshiper can marry Christian or marry themselves. But they are of the same faith. They are of the same belief. They are all in all among themselves. But we are not part of them. And they are not also part of us. Don't let anybody deceive you that we are all together. The Muslim and Christian are one. We are not one. We are not one. In what? In religion. In faith. God said, do not marry anyone that is not a Muslim until he becomes a Muslim. And if one verse was that, I'm coming. I felt the funny part was that someone will be saying, no, don't say that. We need to harmonize ourselves. We need to come in one time. If you marry one another now, that's it, marriage is. No! It's not permissible in Islam. It's not permitted in Islam. It's not permitted. It's forbidden. Samuel must not marry Rukayat. It's a forbidden thing. Likewise, Rukayat must not marry Samuel, nor Joshua. Joshua should marry Rebecca. Matthew should marry Dorcas. Why JAMIU should marry Latifa, marry Salamatu, marry this and marry that. So nobody, no Muslim should marry anybody than a Muslim. That's what the Quran says. And the problem is, some Muslims are so funny. When they met a Christian lady, they will now tell her that Dorcas, I love you. But my problem is you are a Christian. Can you become a Muslim? That's rubbish. Why must you compel him or ask him because of love, forgetting that he was a Christian or she was a Christian? You now give me that condition. Add the condition that if you become a Christian, means I'll marry you. That shouldn't be. Dorcas must be satisfied in her mind that I want to become a Muslim by conviction. He must have get convinced that Islam is the way out to heaven, to paradise. But not your love that will make her a Muslim. I mean, that's the mistake most of Muslims are making today. Normally, Dorcas needs a husband urgently. She will agree that JAMIU, don't worry, I love you because of you. They will tell you categorically, because of you, I will become a Muslim. You are making a mistake. Why should he become a Muslim because of you? People are regretting those actions now. They are regretting the actions now. And there's no way out. All their children have grown up. All of them go to churches with their mother. and you are the only one left at home. Look at your life. Look at the consequence of not listening, of not understanding what Allah says to you in the Quran. You now 70 years of age, look for a Muslim woman to marry. At what age? At what age? All your children are Christians. You are now crying. Why won't you cry? You must cry. Because you didn't listen to advice when you are being told not to marry a Christian. Why should you marry a Christian? And our problem is, if any Muslim lady marry a Christian, she will become a Christian automatically. Because his father will tell her, that you know this is Samuel. And you brought a Samuel. No problem. I'm not a religious fanatic. Fool father. That father is a fool. Say, well, I'm not a fanatic. You are Rebecca, Latifa, you are the one that brought Samuel. That's your lover. No problem. But you know that women don't have any religion. Your husband is your religion. You must become a Christian. Look at how he has left Latifa in vain. Your Latifa didn't know. He needed their husband. And most of the people that she approaches are Christians. Now, okay, let me marry Joshua. You know that you're a Christian already. But the funniest part was that if a Christian lady marry a Muslim, our own father will never tell her that you must become a Muslim. No, I could remember one day, there was one of my friends that said I should escort him I should follow him to our in-laws' house. He was dating a Christian girl. When we got to the house, the father told us categorically that, come, I know you are a Muslim. We said yes. You must not force my daughter to mosque. Let her be on her own, and you be on your own as well. I was so young then, but that friend of mine is older than me at least 5 years. But we just move as a friend. We agreed. The funny part was that when on the marriage day, on the day of the marriage, in that very beautiful hall, when it is turn for the father of the bride to talk, in the midst of every Muslim that are there that came with the husband, the man was bold enough to tell the whole story that he told us when we went to meet him. He said, when Abdulrashid came to me, I told him that we are Christian, and he must not force my daughter to become a Muslim. We came from a Christian family, and he must allow my daughter to attend church on Sundays. He said it openly. How many Muslim fathers has ever said to our daughter that married Samuel such statement in that very day? On that very day, how many of us? Nobody. The only thing we will tell our daughter publicly that, well, you know your husband is a Christian and you have no religion, you follow your husband. That's just the statement that always comes out from all the Muslim foolish fathers. They are fools. They are non-entity. They are fools and non-entity. You give your daughter away to paganism. Don't you know you are going to account for that daughter on the day of judgment? You account for the loss of her life to Christendom on the day of judgment, for sure. Now, I said this act is not new. We are not the the originator of the law. That was how it is with the Israelites. And Israelite is a man of God. God now warned them not to mingle or not to intermarriage with anyone that are not Israelites. Because Israelites are the believers. Then, according to the book of 2 King, 1 King chapter 11, 1 King 11, from verse 1. Look at the instruction God gave to the Israelites. That according to the Bible, King Solomon faulted it. 2 chapter 11, from verse 1. 1 King. Look at what Solomon did. He deviated from the law of God. And that's the thing that happens to your daughter if he marries a Christian, or your son that marries a Christian. Look at their homes. I don't want to mention names. Look at our leaders that marry Christians. They are alone in the house. They are alone in the house. Because all their sons and daughters follow their mother to church, forgetting that a day will come that will not be able to be yourself. At the old age, you will not be alone in the house, worshiping God 5 times in a day on your own. When Ramadan comes, nobody will wake you up to take your sahun because you will be sleeping. She's not a Muslim. He did not believe in what he believed. Look at the instruction. I said we are not fanatics. That is the ordinances of God, even unto the Israelites. And this is the Christian Bible I'm reading. Why are you blaming us? Why are you blaming us? That's the love of God. That is the ordinances for us to live on. You can see, Solomon loved many foreign women. The foreign means the idolatrous. Those that are not Israelites. Those that worship idols, the Egyptians. The daughters of the king of Egypt. He married Isis. From Moab, Ammon, Edom, Sidon.
God has commanded the Israelites not to intermarry.
You can see, the Lord has commanded. The Lord has commanded the Israelites not to mingle, not to intermarry with them. I want to confirm that for you to know that God has warned them. There's a law on it. There's a law. There's a law that they must not marry anyone that is not of their religion. Let's check Exodus 34 verse 16. Or Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 3 and 4. For you to know that there's a law, there's a commandment for them. They must not. So if the Quran say the same thing, why the blaming? Yeah, verse 16. That's it. God said, your daughter might, if they marry those foreign women that will lead them to paganism, to unfaithful to me, and to worship their pagan gods. Look at, go to Romans 7, chapter 7, verse 3 and 4. 7, verse 3 and 4. That's the commandment. That you must not. Why can't you call this fanaticism? We are fanatics. Why should you say we must not marry the Christian? You must, that's fanaticism. You must marry anybody. It's a lie. You must not marry them. Look at the commandment. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 3 and 4. Do not marry any of them. And do not let your children marry any of them, because they will lead your children away from the Lord. Do you foolish Muslims? So worship other gods. You foolish fathers and mothers in Islam that allow your child to marry Christians. You are a fool. You are a fool. Look at what the Bible is saying. Look at what the Bible is saying. The Bible belongs to the Christian. Are we the owner? No. But the Bible frowns at it as well. That there must not be intermarriage between two different faiths. Read again. Verse 7, 3 and 4. Deuteronomy 7, verse 3 and 4, we are reading.
Not marry any of them, and do not let your children marry any of them.
You can see the instruction. Do not marry them, and do not your children marry them, because
They will lead your children away from the Lord.
they will lead your children out of Islam. Are you fools? To worship Jesus, to worship the pagan. If that happens, the Lord will be angry with you and destroy your life. You fool Muslims that marry Christians. God will destroy your life because you destroy your daughter's life. You destroy your son's life by giving in marriage, giving her in marriage to a Christian. You are a fool. That's the Bible injunction. The Quran has found at it. I've read that we must not marry them. Why should a scholar tells you that Quran says so, but to me we can't? Because he knew it's not possible. But he knew understand that ayah of the Quran. He told the Nas saying we are the Christians. That's the conception in him anyway. Now, let's go back to Solomon. Just to point out that there is a law that bounded the Israelites not to marry anybody that is not in the same faith with them. Let the Babalawo marry Babalawo child. Let the Muslim marry the Muslims. Let the Christian marry the Christian. If you have it in your mind to marry a Muslim, try and become a Muslim on your own. Try and become a what? A Muslim on your own. Not because of JAMIU or because of anybody. Be on your own. Get convinced on your own. Then marry a Muslim. Or a Muslim should marry you. Not because of love. I'll marry. Look at what happened to Solomon now. God said they will turn you to their faith. Although Anabi Sulaiman does not partake in this art in Islam. But this is what the Bible said. These are the things they wrote about him in the Bible. And that's what I'm reading. First Kings chapter 11 from verse 1. not to intermarry. That's what the Quran says as well. We must not have intermarriages between the Christian and the Muslim. It's a taboo. It's a taboo unto God. We mustn't, because they have to worship idol. They have to worship Jesus. Huh? Imagine Solomon married 700 princes, 700, and also had 300 concubines, 1,000 wives. Is that possible? I call it biblical jargons. How can one man add 1,000 women? How would he satisfy them? I don't understand. Okay, let's calculate. We have 365 days in a year, right? Another 365, making 6, okay, 7, 365 in 2 places. 730. Okay, 730. Another 365. That's 1,000 plus. Which means every woman that Solomon married plus the concubine will be seeing Solomon once in 3 years. So if he comes to your room today, another one, 3 years, be expecting him. Is that sensible? With me, throughout the years of Solomon, you will not be doing anything that will be sleeping with women in all his life, because there's no way he can satisfy 300, not talk of 1,000 women. Is that sensible? I call it biblical jargons. Now look at what happened to Solomon. Continue. Verse 4. They made him turn away from God. Mm-hmm. They made him turn away from God because they are pagan. And by the time he was old, they led him into the worship of foreign gods. Now, those that marry Christian, at the end of your life, you'll be led to worship Jesus. You have no choice. You will have no choice, because all your daughters and sons were Christian. It happens to one man in a Mushi area, that Ojuri area. I know that I heard about the story, and I went there. When the man married a Christian when he was young, and he had 3 sons and 2 daughters. All were Christian, but their mother was a Christian. He took everybody to a church. Now, at 70, because he had a house, they live upstairs. Downstairs were a mosque. It's for the Muslims. They worship God, a Muslim, in that mosque. When this man got to 70 years of age, he had a stroke. He was paralyzed, 2 legs and the arm. He was useless in the house. He cannot come to the mosque again. You know what happened? After much the Muslim did, they are using the mosque. They have to go and visit Baba, the owner of the house. He got to a stage, they have to move the man out of the house and took him to the church. They took the man to the church, and that was when the end came to the man, and he died. He was buried as a Christian. He was buried as a Christian, and the church took over the mosque. Till now, look at the end of the man. Look at the end of the man. And that will be the end of your daughter and your son that marries a Christian. What's your problem? What is our problem as a father? Because our daughters and sons were not grounded. They were not well grounded in Islamic knowledge. And the fake scholars mislead them as well. The fake scholars tells them, I'm only a Christian, no problem. Islam permits it. Islam do not permit you to marry a Christian. They are liars. Ask them. Ask the scholars that can you give your daughter to a Christian to marry? They will say no. But they will not be telling you rubbish. That can marry a Christian, no problem. Because it does not affect them in any way. They are not affected. Because it's not their daughter. It's your own. That's your problem. I could remember when one of the scholars said it on radio about almost 10 years ago now, that can we marry a Christian? He said yes. We now called him after the program that we heard you. He said, yeah, that's what the Quran says. I said, okay, no problem. As a leader, an Islamic leader, can you marry a Christian? And the woman will go to church in your house. He said, no, he can't. Why not misleading the Muslims? They themselves know it's not possible. But they don't understand the verse of the Quran. They don't understand. Well, on this note, I'm going to allow some questioners to call in, either 2 or 3 because of time. 10:30 already. And as usual, we don't exceed time. It's 11. Our normal time is 11 o'clock. Quality date. Start for day. We're meeting ourselves on the Yoruba program. If you have any question, engineer, let's have the welfare fund account, and that. So if you want to assist us on this program, that's the number to call, and that's the account. If you have any assistance to render unto us, that's the account number on your screen there. So if you have any question or contribution, feel free to call in. Those are the numbers on your screen. Those are the 2 numbers. So I'm expecting callers, though I'm not sure there are Christians here. Let me just check the comments. If you have a question, you are free to call in. A Christian cannot marry a Muslim, and a Muslim cannot marry a Christian. We cannot celebrate Christmas or New Year. We cannot even eat the food. The food is forbidden for us to eat. Christmas food and the celebration. So I see no Christian here anyway. So I'm just checking the comments on Facebook. Maybe I should check the YouTube page. If you have anybody there that is disturbing, or ask one thing or two to ask. So there's no Christian here. I don't know if this Mr. Shegun Shola Anyonlere is a Christian. I don't know. I'm expecting questioners or any contribution, either Muslim nor Christian. So if there are no scholar, no caller or contributor, I think meet on Saturday on our normal Yoruba program, and we are going to be discussing the issue or the problem behind converts that the converts are facing. What's the solution? So I'm going to cite some examples of those that has converted to Islam, what they are facing, and the way out for them by the Muslims. They needed our assistance. So until we meet on Saturday, I say unto every one of us, remain blessed. May Allah in His own mercy protect us and guide us and bless us as well. May we not regret being a Muslim in the world and in the hereafter. May Allah accept all our ibadah and reward us abundantly. Till we meet on Saturday, I remain your son, your brother in Islam. ADEGUNWA the Christ. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Put the Quran now.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب ولم يجعل له